Yeah, I heard that happened to you, right? So what were you doing again?
What was that?
What are you doing again to have your toenail get ripped off? That's brutal, man. I did that.
It was
I did
it
not
was
forget it.
it was definitely taken off, and the numbness is worn off. So I'm in for a rude awakening when uh, when I wake up in the morning.
So yeah, it's a weird thing. A nail. What even is it? But it comes back, man. It might look a little warped, but you'll be all right.
It'll be good. All right, guys, let's fill it up. I know it's a quiet Wednesday night, but it's good to see so many of you. And I would say let's give it a couple more minutes. Let's see if we can push this baby to at least 15 people.
Yeah. If you want to drop it in MKK, you can, or it's up to you. It's, I mean, it's pretty casual, so it's not a big deal. So you don't hear.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Yeah. I already told Big. I already told Big Kid, so it's all good. He knows.
Nice.
Crypto Snake Moon, how are you guys? Go ahead and raise your hand. Raise your hand. Click the button, and Dan will get you unmuted.
What up, dude?
Evening, guys. How's everyone doing?
How's it going?
Good. Just on my way home from work. How are you?
Good stuff. Yeah, just tired here. As I was telling, I don't want this to become the focus of the call, but I had my right thumb toenail removed today. I was at a restaurant last Friday, and the door, I don't know how it happened, but it went over my foot, and and it sliced up my toenail. So
That was with the sandal, right arm, not a shoe. It did that.
I was wearing boat shoes, but
Out.
I don't know how it happened, and I mean it's definitely a freak accident, and so it was just in a lot of pain all week, and uh, yeah, so I said, "Fuck this! I'm going to go to the podiatrist," and they took care of it. So that's it. I mean, I had no other choice, or else it would have, would have gotten. Eventually they said it would have come off on its own because it was just so weak, the tissue underneath everything. I mean, again, not that I want to get into all of this, but they said the right thing to do is to take it off, let it heal, and let it grow back. So that is what I've done, and I'm in for probably a massive week of pain, Epsom salts, and whatever else I need to do to let this thing heal. And then, of course, it'll grow back over time.
Yeah, Epsom salts are good, man. I burned. I did something similar to my hand a couple years back, but not a slice. I just had a nasty burn from tending to a campfire, and so yeah, Epsom salt saved me in that one too.
Got to do it.
Yep. Well, I don't
Man,
think we're gonna get a large
gas
turnout
is
for
super
this
low
chat.
right now, by the way, on ETH. Gas is really low.
Yeah, dude. Well, let's get into that. Why? Well, the entire crypto world is sort of experiencing a pullback right now. That's all it is. It's a pullback, and it's to be expected after basically a 3 month pump from like what January all the way into deep April before we started stagnating at kind of a top there. So what we're seeing now when you zoom out is just Bitcoin sort of correcting back down after it absolutely ripped for a couple months straight. So you can blame it on the FUD. You can blame it on the SEC. All of these things play their part in the news, but at the end of the day, Bitcoin is on a cycle and it's going to do what it's going to do, and that's that.
Absolutely.
And
that's
sometimes,
true. I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to, we're in a crappy market, but there's no worries because, again, if you've been part of the game and you know the story, Big Kid's on. Let's get him unmuted as well. Like Dane is saying, the market is it's going through a nuke at the moment, and we've been through these before, and SquidGrow's certainly been through them before, and so nothing that's going on has changed. There's no There's nothing. I mean, again, guys, you got to ride out the waves in crypto, and sometimes there's up, sometimes there's down, sometimes the market's bullish, sometimes the market's bearish, and sometimes it just seems like everything is dead. But you know what? Things are not dead. There's always trading going on. There's always another token for everybody to ape into. But again, like we've discussed on many VCs in the past, when you've got something as gold as SquidGrow, something that's operating very much like a blue chip already, it's operating as a billion-dollar token, even though we are sub 20 million. The signs are there, and there's nothing to worry about. Um, with Shibtoshi behind this, with Dane, with RDub, with everybody that's been behind this, there's nothing that has changed in terms of, no one's throwing in the towel, no one's getting nervous, no one has any reservations about anything. This is just another wave for people to have to just ride through. And as you can see on the charts, not to highlight that, not to focus on that, but as you can see, there are some who don't have that patience. There are some who have dipped. There are some who have trimmed. There are some who maybe just left altogether. And that's okay. That is their right to do so. But for those that are still holding, then you should be in a comfy spot because there's nothing to worry about. And this is not emblematic of SquidGrow. This is just simply the market.
Yeah, well, no one's escaping it right now across the board. You look at any project that has any level of maturity to it, and they've experienced the pullback, and it's mostly because the blockchain that they're on, is dropped in value. If you're on BNB or ETH like we are, and those two things go down, then it naturally pulls your chart value down, even if no one sells. So yeah, it is what it is, man. We've ridden this wave, like you say, many times before, and it doesn't phase us. We keep doing things, business as usual here. Um, there's a lot going on at SquidGrow. The devs have been consistently busy after we announced the bridge the other day. Obviously, there's a couple speed bumps with the connectivity, with the staking. All these things are being ironed out. Without going off too much on a tangent on the bridge, we're aware that there is a high demand to come over to ETH right now from BSC. So those tokens that people bridge back the other way will make themselves available basically for people that are still yet to come over to ETH with their bag. So over time, the bridge will balance itself out. But right now, there's a bit of a traffic jam going one way. So just keep checking back regularly if you haven't got the chance to bridge yet, because it will work again. But yeah, if there's something else that you're having a problem with, our devs are already aware of pretty much every issue across the board with that, and they're working to iron out those kinks. So just stay tuned with us. As some things, sometimes there's growing pains with different utilities when they're introduced, and this is one of those times. But with that said, we got a pretty exciting weekend coming up. We got the 1 year anniversary of SquidGrow, and that's a pretty big deal. 1 year just flew by, it seems like, but at the same time, there's a lot that happened over this last year. So it'll be a fun recap. I think we'll have at least a voice chat where we are all talking and going over and getting the whole team and crew back on to kind of dive in and talk about that year and in hindsight and what is to come from here now that we're on the two chains that we've been talking about getting on for forever. And that's where the fun begins. We've checked off another box, right? As someone said the other day in voice chat, there's a lot of boxes to get this done, a lot of little things that are kind of like a sub box, but they're done.
Yeah. And you know what? The good thing is that there's always something to celebrate. And 1 year is huge for a project. Some projects don't make it that far. Some projects do not make it that far. And with everything SquidGrow has done, there's much to celebrate. And the team's been so hard at work. I say it all the time on these VCs that you haven't really seen much shakeup at all in the team. All the mods are still here. They've worked hard. They're still here every day. No one's really been straying. You haven't seen stuff like that. It's a very tightly organized, well-oiled machine, if you want to call it that, but a very tight ship. And to get to that year anniversary is really special. And and Dan, we talk so much. I feel like I'm part of the team, but you know what? I am, and we're all part of the team. And that's that's what's special about SquidGrow, is that everybody can participate and everybody can take part. I think that you mentioned earlier about, maybe there's some kinks, the bridge rollout. There's always things to iron out, and that's true. I think, for many of us in the call, and we're about to push 20, and that's good. We got 18 people on the call. Keep it coming. Good to see you, Tom Zazullo on the call. Mr. Man, he is right there. Yeah. Uncle Ricky Lee, good to see you too. Um, people have this notion that, well, why were there any issues with the bridge? This is Shitoshi we're talking about here. Audits have audits, and audits. I mean, of course they do, but there's always going to be things to iron out. There's always little kinks. Maybe you didn't put in enough. Maybe you took out too much. Maybe there's something you didn't turn on. That's totally normal. No project. I don't know any of them that have the kind of developments and things cooking like SquidGrow does, that when they finally launch those things and and hot off the press and release it to the community, there's no kinks in it. I mean, I've never personally seen that. You have to launch to get it right. And that goes across the board. I mean, you can look at all kinds of things. Look at Elon Musk. Just a couple of months ago, they launched one of those rockets, and it was a really, I think you remember that, Dane, where they launched the rocket, and the thing exploded on the way up, and everybody was still cheering, and it took a while. It took a while for I read the comments everywhere on Twitter. People like, why are they cheering? The thing broke up in the middle of the sky. Well, that's what they wanted to do. They just wanted to see if the thing would launch. It was really, the optics were really strange. They just wanted to see if the thing would launch successfully, and it did. And then the rocket broke off, as expected. But there were some kinks in it. And Elon Musk even came on and talked about what the things that they had to fix, the things that they had to improve. And this is Elon Musk we're talking about here. So, I think that everybody, and we just hit 20. It's good to see so many on the call. I think that, SquidGrow is in fine shape, fine working condition. There's nothing of question going on. Again, it just feels sometimes when you look around the overall market, that clouds everything, right? Because you look around, you see so many projects that aren't doing so well, and then you start to assume that all the projects are going to not do well. That's just not the case. I think we're in good shape. I think we're heading into a good summer. And as Dane said, we are hitting that 1-year anniversary, and that is something to celebrate.
Oh, it definitely will be, and it is. We're almost there. Pretty much, it has been a year. If you've been around since the V1 days before they relaunched the contract onto V2 on the BSC side. So yeah, it's pretty insane, man, that we have survived that long, but also thrived for that long. Even in times like this, we continue to work and build and prepare for our next stages. Lining up marketing, influencers, building the team itself. There's so many things that go into it. But to your point, yeah, with the stuff that goes on in the background with audits, that's for security, right? It's always number one. You've heard us say that many, many times. And that's the most important thing, is that when a utility comes out, that it never puts any single investor at risk. As long as you're not at risk, then that's job number one done. Job number two is to make ease of access and make sure that no one's getting alienated from using the utility for whatever reason. Maybe it's their browser, maybe it's the wallet itself. Those things can be fixed rather quickly, especially with the talent that we have on our dev team. But with the audits and the time it took to get these things released, that was the priority number one, was security. There's always surprises on the front end sometimes with third party apps like Vault Connect, but we're working those out. And as far as the bridge goes, yeah, it's just, I think the timing of when we launched the bridge, obviously we launched it at a time where everybody was panicking about BSC and wanted to come over to ETH. So maybe it could have been launched at a better time, as far as so that didn't happen. So there wasn't like a one-way traffic jam. But that is what it is, and we will continue to have the bridge available, and we'll continue to keep you guys posted about it as people go back the other way, which will happen. All those tokens will be in the bridge and be able to swap over to ETH if that's still something you're trying to do. I mean, you can always buy ETH too in the meantime. It has gone pretty low recently, so it's not a bad gig either.
Yeah, I think that there's something in for everybody. I mean, the interesting thing is that, and a lot of people get this, by the way, in this SquidGrow. I love when I read this stuff. Things like, ooh, juicy entry, ooh, juicy prices. It's juicy. This is low. I mean, yeah, the price is I personally don't even think it's low. I mean, 13 million is nothing to cry about. 13, 14, 15 million. I think that's fantastic. But yeah, it's juicy right now. If you know, you know. And these are great prices to get in, to get a bag and to hold it for a while. Go into the staking. Again, if you know, you know. The APR is doing great on ETH. Everything is pretty good on BSC. Pick your poison. This is a good time to get into SquidGrow. I think a lot of people, and I see Napoleon Einstein on the call. Good to see you, Napoleon. I know at times you've even had some questions, and I don't want to say concerns, but you've definitely brought up some points in the chat. I think that sometimes we get so spoiled because Sheeptoshi is so terrific and the team is so terrific, and SquidGrow always has their ducks lined up in order, that we get so spoiled that we assume that every time something releases and something comes, that it's just going to be an immediate moonshot, or it's going to be an immediate, fast track to 1 billion. And I can see that. I can sense that on some people. I think a lot of people just get so excited. And you should get excited, but at the same time, remember that this is about the long game. Remember that real investing and real X's and real wins, certainly in crypto, are not a sprint. It's a marathon. It takes time. If you want easy, fast X's, you go the degen route. There's a lot of X's to be made there. But when you're dealing with top shelf grade A projects like this, certainly from a dev like Sheeptoshi, you got to wait a little bit. You got to be patient, and you just got to ride the wave. Because the truth is that a lot of those easy X degen plays, they're not going to be around. They're not going to be around in 5 months. They're not going to be around in maybe 5 weeks. So they're not meant to survive the ups and downs of the market. They're meant to survive what's hot right now. And so, you look around and there's so many of those projects that are hot for a day or 2 or 3, and then everybody gets their gold and then they run for the hills. And that's just not what SquidGrow is about. So I just think that, we talk about it all the time. I think that patience is key. Everybody pump the brakes, on the 1 billion talk and all that kind of stuff, because it's just so premature for that. That doesn't mean you can't, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means that right now, where we are in this market, let's deal with one step at a time. Let's deal with one day at a time, because in crypto, a day can feel like a year, and good things take time. And so I think when you plant those seeds, you want to watch them grow. You got to water the plant. You got to take the time. You got to give it the sunlight. And just like in a crypto project, you got to do the same things too. And so everything that this team has done has been done correctly. It's been done with precision, and they've just taken their time with it to make sure, like Sheeptoshi says, audits even have audits, and you want to cross your T's, dot your I's.
Yeah, well said, Arn. There's a macro that's at play at always. So we are within that, even though we're in DeFi and not primarily on tier ones yet, which we will be. That macro is dictating a lot of things right now. And the macro is not just with Bitcoin, it's just the way people are feeling, the overall sentiment about this crypto world. That has a direct effect to every project. We obviously try to break the mold. That's what we're good at. In fact, when we did run up to our all-time high on BSC, it was completely against the grain. So SquidGrow certainly has that potential to go the other direction. But it's definitely a lot more, I guess you could say, equipped to move when things are better. And things will get better. But in the meantime, we're building our rocket. And as you said, there's things that have to be done and checked off before that rocket's going to take off all the way to the freaking moon, which we all want. So,
and another thing too, guys, I don't know if you're looking at the chat, but this always happens when Dane and
big
I.
giant buy. 8K.
That's right. This always happens when Dane and I are chatting. So I'd love to take the credit for it, but hey, we just got a 37 BNB buy. So
also, someone said you sound like Ben Stein. And
yes.
are you Jewish? Are you Jewish, Arn? Someone asked.
I don't know if any of that's relevant. But I could be Irish Catholic. I could be Hindu. I don't know. If any. I don't know if any of that matters, and I don't know why AC. Seems to think that, but I think that's the wrong focus. But anyway, we got a 37 BNB buy. So how do you like that?
Yeah. You can't beat that, man. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we just take that in stride. We get buys like that pretty often, and obviously more at times than others. But yeah, we see it pretty commonly here. So it's awesome to see in the chat, but it's just kind of business as usual for us. We have big whales splashing daily in SquidGrow, and it's awesome to know that they've decided to park their funds here in such a brutal time. And that again, that caters to kind of our philosophy that we have here, which is that we are an investment. We're not a pump and dump. We're not a crap DJing like what you just mentioned. We're here for a long time and a good time, right? Both of those things. So it's when you have something great like that being built and you're doing it in the middle of a bear market, which we're very aware we are, it takes a bit longer, and that's just fine. But we've just checked off a serious box, which is getting to ETH. We are now where we need to be, right? We don't have to worry about the blockchains anymore. The bridge will be ironed out. All those little kinks will be fixed. So from here, we have a bigger audience. We have a bigger base that our marketing and our moves that we make going forward will reach. And that is the important thing. If you look in hindsight, and I've actually got a Medium article I'm putting out this week about this. If you look in hindsight, this entire year has been I guess you could call it our grassroots phase. It was just attracting the smart money that was left in DeFi, which is all of you, to our project to build this base, to build this project, to give it some maturity, get things going, the staking, the multi-chain, right? All the cool stuff that Shibtoshi has done to spread awareness and build the lore of SquidGrow. These are things that have happened in the past year that are basically just signs of a project that has only just begun. So going forward into year 2, it's an entirely different ballgame. Now at this point, we get to roll out the real utility. You know what it is, right? I won't list it, but it is going to be one thing after another, each one I think being better than the last. And as we hit stride and the market turns back around, which it will, all these utilities are going to make us a lot more attractive to those massive blue chip ETH whales that we want. Now, I will say this, the ETH launch itself, right? We spoke on this prior. There's a certain stigma around any type of major news in crypto, that when there's a piece of major news, the second it goes live, it's going to create this massive pump, right? And obviously, if you've been around long enough, you know that's not always the case. It can be applied to a major marketing move. It can be applied to an exchange. When does the pump actually come? Well, typically it comes before, right? If you look at what just happened to us, is a perfect example. We knew the bridge was coming. We did marketing. We had influencers galore. We pretty much hit all angles we could to spread the word about the bridge coming. And our pump actually came prior. We pumped up to roughly 26 million on BSC prior to actually going live on ETH. And that was something that corrected, unfortunately, after we went live on ETH, because right when we went live was around the same time the Binance FUD was happening, and it was around the same time market was pulling back. So, of course, it would have been awesome if we had ran up to 30K in the middle of that, and maybe at that point, the price of SquidGrow would have continued to go up from where it was when we launched on ETH. But these things can be hit or miss, and a lot of people will buy the news and sell the release, and I think that's kind of what happened. And with that said, in my experience, these launches onto new blockchains and migrations, things like that, they're not always bullish, right? It's kind of just like a necessary step that you must take. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to pump the chart. That can happen, but typically what I've seen when projects move to a new chain is that they'll correct, and then some point shortly after that, depending on what market they're in, it will pump, and it will pump harder than it's ever pumped. And that's what we've geared up to do, right? The next time we have a serious move up and we go back up to 26 million and you see that reflected across both chains, that floor is going to be so strong at that point that it's going to be much, much easier for us to continue from there than it ever has been. And that is the important point here is, yes, okay, it is a little bit disappointing that we didn't get the mega massive 5-10x that we all wanted right after we went live. But that is still out there, and it is coming. And all the marketing that we do will have that much more of an effect now, and that's the exciting thing to me.
Yeah, and everything you said was absolutely accurate. By the way, Meta Narrative, good to see you. Let's hear that beautiful voice when you're ready. I would say this, people lose sight sometimes about why some projects do great, why some projects moon easy, why some projects, don't moon easy. You guys got to remember something. SquidGrow mooned easy. We launched and what's the all-time high? 50, 57 million, something like that. That was quite a moon, okay? But we had a correction. Now, the difference between us and other projects is that we're still around and we're at 15 million. Some other projects mooned to 50 million and now they're at 200K because they totally collapsed and they flamed out. A project like SquidGrow, the fact that we're still here, the fact that we are still thriving, the fact that we are, innovating and everything, that is what you want. Again, in a project, and I'll say it, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. If you're looking for easy X's, 1, 2, 3s, and you want that easy money, and you're fishing for it, that's what's called degenning, right? And then there's a lot of degenning to do. There's a lot of things to choose from. I mean, that's the market. Happy hunting. Go find those X's. But when you want to grow, hence SquidGrow, but when you want to grow and you want to invest and you want to be part of something that's going to bring you those returns, but you also feel safe with your money and you know that you're part of something special. And again, if you don't need the money right away, you can put the money away, you can invest it and feel comfy with it. Well, then that's what you need. That's what you're looking for in a project like SquidGrow. And that's what real investing is. I think that a lot of us in crypto, and it's okay. There's no shame in the game and talking about it. But I think a lot of us freak out over, I don't know, a 1 BNB buy or a half BNB buy. And some people 0.2 BNB is a lot to them. And that's okay. But my point is that when you need the money, and you need that money fast, you shouldn't have aped it in the first place. That's why they always say in crypto, ape what you can afford to lose, because in many cases, that's going to happen in crypto. It's just a fact that that's part of crypto. That you are, and I don't mean investing, that's part of crypto. It is part of investing, but it's even more so part of crypto, is that you risk that you will lose when you ape. But at the same time, if you ape what you have that you know you don't need it, well, then you feel obviously better about yourself because you don't need that money right away. And I just think that for many folks that are part of our family and are investing in SquidGrow, be patient with it. If you don't need the money right away, then you got nothing to worry about. And it's a very funny phrase that Warren Buffett, the gifs are many with this phrase, but what is it? He always says, you don't lose, you haven't lost anything until you've sold. I know it feels funky when you think about that, right? Because your portfolio may be down 20%, maybe it's down 50%, and you feel like you've lost, but you haven't really lost anything because you haven't really sold anything. And so for any of us that are down in SquidGrow right now, it's okay. You haven't lost anything. And believe me, it's going to go back up. Um, that's what's special about SquidGrow is that it's always innovating. And again, if you think about it, Satoshi's not in this to lose. He's not going to lose, baby. And he's not walking away from this. Dane and I say this on the call all the time. This is Satoshi's. This isn't just some project for him. He's not he's not just some dev. This is his passion. This is what he wants to deliver to not just our community, first and foremost our community, but to crypto in general. This is what SquidGrow is about to him. This is his legacy. He's used that word many times before. This is his legacy. So he's not walking away from there's no even need to mention that. This is going to go to the moon. And whether you're around for it or not is just the question. And like I said, we've seen on the chart, certainly, and we've seen it in the community. Some folks are here, ride or die. They are here with us. And again, they'll exit when they want to, they'll trim when they want to, and that's okay. But some have left already, and that's okay too. And that's part of the game. But if you don't have anything to worry about and you're here for the ride and you can rest assured, that you don't need that money right now, well, then there's definitely nothing to worry about. So SquidGrow is in good shape, and we're going to get through whatever this latest wave in the crypto market is. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. And just take comfort in the fact that, again, everybody that's on the team is still here. All the mods are still here. Nobody's had a hissy fit. Nobody has had a meltdown. Nobody has gone rogue. Nobody has had any funny business. The whole team is here. Nobody's straight, and that is a sign that SquidGrow's in great shape.
Yeah, we're never worried. Shibtoshi is SquidGrow. They're synonymous. They're one and the same. Without SquidGrow, there is no Shibtoshi. Without Shibtoshi, there's no SquidGrow. In fact, Shibtoshi never even meant to create a persona. That was just kind of an accidental thing, but that's a story for another time. And it came from SquidGrow, right? So had SquidGrow not been born, nobody would know who he is still, as far as his crypto persona. So they're one and the same. It's he will be here to the end. You talking a long time from now, and every step of the way, every single day, even when he's been at his most busy, he's still doing stuff for us here. So yeah, you could not have a better CEO, and the team itself has an obsession and a passion for the project that is basically not matched by any that I've seen. So great hands. We're along for the ride in crypto though, and you get to stake if you're into that, and it's basically a form of auto DCAing, as someone said the other day. I really like that. So your investment may not be as much as it was in dollar value compared to a week or two ago, but you've continued to add tokens. So once it turns around, your investment's going to be more than it was a week or two ago. So I mean, it's if you're here for a long time, it's you're doing it right. And if you're looking for degens, you probably need to look elsewhere, because this project is going to be and I think it will be a blue chip, right? I think that's what it will be. So, people look at Doge, people look at Shiba as almost pretty much blue chip alts now, right? They're so big, and that's exactly what Shibtoshi wants for SquidGrow. To get to that point, though, you have to pay your dues. You have to survive these brutal markets. You have to build great things, and all those things are happening. We're surviving. We're continuing to thrive and grow. We're here with the OGs of the community, all 33 of you, and we'll continue to do that on a daily basis. And as far as kinks, we've seen chat all day in the field. We're fixing it.
Yeah, and I would also say too that, and I say it many times, is that the magic of SquidGrow is community. The community is what brings everything together. The community in SquidGrow is what's really keeping this thing going. And so for all the newbies and the newcomers that come and join the chat, and we see them daily, right? They come in, they ask the questions, and you can tell that they've never been here before just based on their question, and the energy. And that's okay, because, we want new people. But we've seen over this year, as we head into this year anniversary, that the community has kind of cycled. It's recycled. It's grown. We've lost some. We've gained some. And we have these. Excuse me. We have these VCs, and we talk about the same things, and it's okay. It's good. We want to reinforce all that, but it's up to the community as well to welcome new people in, to share what SquidGrow's about, to give them these juicy tidbits of knowledge about what SquidGrow is, where it's going, what it's accomplished thus far. The VCs are great. We're always here for them, but at the same time, part of family is connecting and helping the next person out, and I think that's something that SquidGrow does so well. Is that the community is always willing to help the next guy out. The mods are always willing to help the next guy out. That the SquidGrow army, especially on Twitter and the engagement, even the World Tour contest. I said it the other night on the VC that SquidGrow, and we were headed this way anyway, but now we're really headed this way. We're becoming inevitable, and we're becoming unavoidable. And when you have those two combinations, you're unavoidable, you become inevitable. It's going to happen. Right? We're becoming very unavoidable at this time. We're seeing a lot of influencers that are popping out of the woodworks and finally talking about SquidGrow. People are talking about Sheep. People are listing SquidGrow in their little lists on Twitters of the tokens that they're, that are in their wallet and that they're expecting to do well, and all those things. And these are influencers that weren't talking about us before. So we're becoming unavoidable. And again, like I said, we're operating very much so as $1 billion token already. We're just, we're sub 20 million, and that's okay. The fact is that everybody now knows about us and everybody's talking about us. And when you think about it as well, Shibtoshi, again, I say it all the time, he's not just some guy. He's not just some obscure dev that's trying to make a name for himself. Shibtoshi has so many connections up the wazoo that, I don't think people can grasp just how omnipresent that he is in the in the crypto community. And it's happened fast for him too. Dane alluded to the fact that prior to SquidGrow, he was kind of he was obscure. Nobody really knew who he was. They knew the story. They knew the legend of the Shiba top wallet and the breaking up of the wallets, and they knew all that. They just weren't able to put a face to the name, and they still can't because he wears a mask. But they couldn't put a name to who this person was. Over the year, he's cultivated his identity and he's cultivated his own reputation. But SquidGrow, of course, has played a huge part in that. He has connections that are so far-reaching that he hasn't even totally utilized yet. Connections that are waiting to jump on board when the time is right. Connections that'll be there for him when he needs them. And so that is also the magic of SquidGrow, is that, again, it's not going anywhere. Again, it's inevitable at this point. And so I think that if we continue to do the work, we stay unavoidable and we continue to be inevitable. And I just think that that's part of the magic of what SquidGrow does so well, is that we have this ability to stay omnipresent in the crypto community. We're all over the place. And that is what we do so well. And that's also another thing that the World Tour contest has just contributed even more to, is getting SquidGrow out there to people that maybe haven't seen our logo yet, maybe haven't heard about us. Because there's a vast community of crypto out there that's untapped that we haven't reached yet. And, we don't have to wait for the bull market for all those folks to come in. We just have to keep doing the work. When the bull market comes, oh, well, then everybody's going to come out of the woodwork, but we don't have to wait for it in order to reach those people.
Yeah, exactly. We're not waiting for anything. But what is true is that the numbers and the ceilings that people want to see that were around in 2021 are really just extremely difficult and unlikely to hit until things get better, which is why people always talk about the bull market coming back, because that's the reality of it. More liquidity becomes available, more money rushes in, and things skyrocket. And what we're doing now is building so that when that time comes, the people that come flooding money into the space are going to see us front and center. That's what's important, is to have a mature, high functioning, badass project, so that when people see SquidGrow, it is a no brainer to buy it. It's just like, oh, that too, oh, I'm in, right? That's what we're going for. And you guys are just early right now, man. Like, it's been 1 year, but it's been 1 year of bear market. How many projects were born when we were and are still around to talk about it, doing voice chats every day, and actually putting out new content, marketing, coming out with plays? Even the big dogs that pumped in 2021, what are they doing?
Right. And yeah, and that's what's so great about SquidGrow, is that I can list you, on two hands, a number of tokens in the bull run of 2021 that moons that are, a lot of people made a lot of money on them. I made a lot of money on them in the bull run of 2021, but they're not around anymore. No one's heard about them. They sunk and they deflated and they flamed out. And listen, that's okay, because that's what a lot of projects did. They were a product of the bull run of 2021, where everything was mooning under the sun. And so I think that, for SquidGrow to have been born really in the bear market last July, to still be here, that's just so impressive. And crypto is we love crypto. It's our own little community here, right? Crypto's not going anywhere, and it sometimes feels like, oh, the world's trying to end crypto. There's a lot more people that love crypto than there are those who don't like crypto. And even the ones who are dogging against crypto actually like crypto. They just want to control it. They just want to manipulate it. They want to be in charge of it so that they can regulate it and, do whatever the heck they want to do and make theirs. And so we know that, and that's the game. That's the game. But crypto is going to be around, and what SquidGrow is aiming to be is another one of those tokens that becomes part of the lexicon of crypto. I think we're already there, but we're certainly going to get there once we really pump to 100 and 200 and 300 and million beyond. Because then the market cap talks, and it's not just the project. But what SquidGrow is going to do is be part of the story of crypto. That is what, in my opinion, what Satoshi means when he says, "I'm going for the king." It's up to interpretation. Whether who's the king? Is it Doge? Is it Shiba? It doesn't matter. What Satoshi is doing is he's going to take SquidGrow and put us front and center in the story of crypto. And, and like I said, then we're unavoidable and then we're inevitable. And that is what I'm super excited about. And frankly, guys, that's why I'm a part of this. That's why I'm a part of SquidGrow. Obviously, I love the family, the community, everybody. Dane's like a brother to me. But it's because I want to be a part. I want to be a part of that project that is going to be around in a year and 2 and 3 and 5 when crypto really hits its stride, because we're early. I mean, crypto's still a baby. It feels like it's been around for a long time and all the ideas are spent and all the good projects have been launched. But no, crypto is just in its infancy still. So, I want to be part of something bigger than just being a token. And I think that that's what makes this community so special, is that if you get it and you know that you are part of something bigger than just some project.
Yeah, I always find it funny when people talk about crypto. Like I tell people, when I meet, that's what I do, and they're like, "Oh man, yeah, I wish I got into that back in 2017 or 2021. I wish I just bought in." I'm like, dude, it's not like it was a thing and it's done. Like it's still around, but I think the average person just thinks that it's not, like because it's not in the news anymore to them. They're not seeing it. They're not hearing about it on their social media pages like they once were. So they think of it as a trend. And of course, crypto is trendy. It has highs and lows, bull market, bear market. That's basically a way of saying that it's trending and it's not. And that is just the nature of the beast. But the industry continues to build regardless of whether it's in a trend or not. And that's no different for us. But I do find it funny that people are just so out of tune with what's really happening. It's almost like if you just because the stock market's not pumping, it's like, oh man, I guess stocks are dead. I guess there's no businesses out there anymore. They're just, they stopped doing business, right? It's like, it's just silly. But that shows you the fact that people still think that about crypto shows you how early it really is, because their understanding of it is so far from the reality of what's actually happening. Every kid that's going through to high school and college right now that hears about NFTs and hears about blockchain technology and whatnot are going on to want to study it in college, or they're dropping out of college to do it. The smartest minds in the world from every country are going into blockchain technology, Web3 development, across the board, all these different jobs that are coming out of it. Why is that? Well, that's because it's the most fast growing, diverse industry in the world. And we are at the cutting edge of the meme coin / utility coin project, and putting ourselves in a position to, when it does trend again, to be right at the forefront of that. And the amount of money that is going to pour into space this next bull market, dude, like it'll smash. It will absolutely smash the previous ones, as it always does. And then everybody that you talk to will be like, "Oh, dude, you're doing crypto? Man, I've been wanting to get into that." Well, at that point, it's too late, brother. Like, you should have been hitting me up when everybody else wasn't talking about it. And that's just the cycle of this thing. And I find it funny, but I also love it, because that volatility is what gives you the opportunity. Without that, it would be very difficult to make any money.
Oh yeah. And trends, guys. I mean, like Dan was mentioning, and we know it. Crypto moves in cycles, and it's not just about bears and bulls. We see it every day. We see it every week. There's a new meta. There's a new, like the name, meta narrative. There's a new meta all the time. Whether it's frog coins this week, whether it's planet coins next week, whether it is piggy coins this week, whether it is I don't know. I mean, look at the dog coins. We all love the dog coins, right? Dogs are in. I don't think SquidGrow was necessarily trying to start a meta. I don't think Shitoshi was necessarily doing that. I think he combined the things that he liked, which was Squid Game, and Evergrow. I mean, he's been on the record saying that that's why he called it that. We're creating our own. We just stand out. We're not riding the wave of any new meta. But we all know that with each meta, it crashes and burns. It lasts for maybe a couple days. It lasts for maybe a week, and you'll have 50, 100 tokens that are all themed around whatever that meta was. What was it last year? I think there was one of the metas was porno stuff, right? Some really interesting choice titles for tokens that related to sex and porno. Okay, that was fun. Those tokens lasted. Did any of them really go parabolic and actually do anything truly substantial? No. Maybe they hit the moon and hit 5 million, but then they flamed out. And that's the thing with crypto, is that there's always a way to make money. There's always a new token to get into. There's always launches, and there's always pre-sales, and there's all those kinds of things. But the thing about SquidGrow is that what we have that other tokens don't have is that we're always innovating. And with a guy like Satoshi at the helm, we can do anything we want with SquidGrow. If you think SGX is going to be the tip of the cap, I mean, it's going to be the flagship, and we all know that. It's going to be incredible. Can't wait for SGX, especially to see, what it does to our charts. That's not. Satoshi's got so many ideas for what he can do with SquidGrow and how he can implement it into finance, into perhaps payments, into whatever. It doesn't matter, because he's always innovating. The team is always innovating. So if you think that we've done everything there is to do, or some tokens have reached that. Some tokens have done all they're capable of doing. Maybe they don't have a budget. Maybe they ran out of ideas. Maybe they ran out of support. Maybe they ran out of juice. Maybe they ran out of buzz. That's just not going to happen with SquidGrow. It will not happen with SquidGrow. So that's what I'm excited about, is just seeing what else and where else we can go with this, because the sky is the limit. And people tend to judge a project solely on market cap. We see it all the time, right? Oh, it's only at 500K. Oh, it's only at 5 million. 5 million is still pretty incredible. I just think that there's so much more to crypto than just market cap. I think there's more. The measure of a project, the measure of a dev is beyond what the market cap is. And if you follow, again, like I said, in crypto, you can do two things. You can either just invest in tokens, or you can invest in people. You can invest in teams. You can invest in ideas. And I think that if you do the latter, and you do that with SquidGrow, well, then you're in great shape, and you've made a good investment. And that's just what I'm excited about, is seeing where we go as we cross this 1-year anniversary. I think is really exciting, and I just can't wait to see what's next.
That's right. Well, there's a lot that's next. Satoshi likes to do surprises. Even for me, oftentimes things come to my chats, and I think to myself, holy crap, man! Like, what? Where was this? And it just happens. Satoshi is always an outside the box thinker that is trying to wow the investors and bring new ones in, keep you guys happy. We always want to keep the engagement up. We love seeing, just on a random night where the market's been brutal to us, we love seeing 39 of you here in chat. That's what it's all about, is continuing to build upon what we have to make it larger slowly over time, and eventually they'll hit a point where it's growing really quickly. But yeah, today was not a fun day. We had Emperor Lord Supreme Powell speaking in his usual speech that he does after the FOMC here in the States. And, with his stuff comes all the negativity in the markets. And, he likes to use loaded words. And when that happens, it's, it tends to have a negative effect on the market. But that's neither here nor there. Bitcoin will do what it's going to do. And people like to blame it on Powell and the Federal Reserve and finance, things like that. And of course, they play their part. They act as catalysts in some ways for whales to move the market, because the retails sure aren't moving it. It's the whales that do that and set things up. People tend to forget that. So I try to block out a lot of that noise with what happens, unless I'm day trading. Of course, if I'm day trading, I may try to use those things. And the notorious RDub here, SquidGrow, our CFO, is an expert at that. So if you don't follow him, I highly suggest you do, if that is what you're doing to stay occupied. A little day trading action, nothing wrong with it. But as an investor, that stuff is very, it's just noise, and there's a lot of noise. You could go on Twitter 2 months ago, and every blue chip influencer out there would be telling you how amazing meme coins are. You go there now, and they're all quiet. Isn't that funny how they just change like that? It's just trends followers, not trendsetters. And what makes Satoshi different and powerful compared to these types of people is that Satoshi is a trend setter, not a follower. So we're gonna dance our own dance, and when we do, break out and go crazy, it's going to be a sight to behold.
Oh yeah, yeah, and we talk about market manipulation and whales, and I think there's a reason why certainly stateside, not speaking for other countries, but in the United States, I think there's a reason why these kinds of things happen to crypto at the same time that the financial market's not doing well. They got to make up their money somewhere. So what better way to do that than to FUD our beautiful crypto market so that they can buy in low, make all their money back when they eventually, of course, pump it back. And there you go. There's their money. Because, and again, could I be just, presuming? Sure. Or could I be talking from somebody who knows, what goes on in the markets, and I see the trends and I see how things work. I think that all these things happen for a reason. And like Dane said, retail investors are a little thin right now, and that's okay. We're not in a bull. But those who know, and those who are part of crypto and love crypto, we can't get enough of it. We love it. Like I said, it's good to take breaks sometimes too. So you definitely want to do that, especially from Telegram, from the whole, from the bubble that we're all in. You need that break. But if you're part of crypto, and you've made this your work, if you've made it a hobby, if you've made it a financial hobby, if you just, if you know crypto and you're going to be a part of it for a while, then you know what it takes to buckle up and saddle up and ride the waves, whether they're ups, whether they're downs. It doesn't matter. You don't get affected by too much of this stuff. And again, it comes back to like what I was saying about wallets before. Ape what you can. If you're aping your whole bag into a project and it doesn't do well, you shouldn't have aped your whole bag. We got to learn how to trade, and that's what asking questions is for. That's what making connections is for. That's what talking to new people. Don't be afraid. People always say, I will not DM first. I love DMing first. Ask Big Kid. I DM first. Too much, probably. Maybe not as much anymore. But it's okay. You want to ask questions. You want to talk. You want to, and that's what I think is great about what we do. And I see Tom's laughing at that too. That's what's great about Telegram. It's not just crypto, but you've introduced the social media component to it, which is instant communication, talking to people, asking questions. And that's, again, what I think SquidGrow does better than anybody, is because you've come into this room and you've seen over the year folks like Meta Narrative, William Wallace, Penis Parker, Harry, Sam, Crypto Saz. You've seen all these guys. They're always here. Sometimes they take a break. You don't see them every single day, and that's okay. They have a life too outside of crypto, and that's what we all need, is a life outside of crypto. But they're here. They haven't left anywhere. They're always willing to help out the next person, whether you're a newbie in crypto or whether you've been part of SquidGrow this entire time and just have a question about staking or something that happened on the blockchain. They're going to help you. That is something that I think is just truly special, about what this project is and where it's going. But when it comes to Satoshi, again, like Dane said, he is not just a whale, but he is a market maker. He can move the market. He can set the trend, and he does that better than anybody. So, I just think that the signs are always around us, and sometimes in times like this, when the market is down and you feel like your portfolio is never going to come back. And it's a real feeling. We've all felt that way. Even the ones who have a lot of experience. It sucks when the market's doing bad. But again, focus on what's going right, not necessarily what's down and what feels like it's not going well. Focus on the good things. Focus on the community. Focus on the fact that we've got a strong community with strong team members. And honestly, guys, the chart's still doing great. So it doesn't matter. Some of you guys got it at 15. Some of you guys got it at 20. I always tell a story about how I threw 20K and at 27 million. Well, that bag, and I got a couple bags, but that particular bag's really down. But what can I do about it? I can't do anything about it. I just have to ride the wave. I've staked, I'm staking, I'm earning plenty of it, and that's okay. Hang out for the ride. Don't focus so much on the charts. Again, like they always say, when in doubt, zoom out on the chart. But just focus, focus on the right things. Don't focus on the bad things. And, and you get through this wave that is crypto.
I look at the bear market as an opportunity to get more money in personally. What I'm trying to do when I see my investments down, whether I got in at the top or bottom, doesn't matter. I'm trying to add more where it counts, right? Not at the top, like, oh man, it might still go up a little bit more from here. I'm gonna FOMO in, like your brain will tell you to, especially if you're new. Like this is the time where you want to have a side hustle, where you want to have a full time job and then some. Because if you can take more money and get into these markets right now, whether it's a blue chip, whether it's SquidGrow, there's a really high chance that when things turn around and come back up again, that you're going to make a large return on that investment in this world that we're in. So that's the way I look at bear markets, just as opportunity. And if you've already gone all in, right? If you're already, if your whole bag is in tokens, I mean, they say don't do that, but we all do it, right? Everybody does it. That's pretty much me. I have very low stables compared to what I have in crypto. So yeah, you can get emotionally attached to that, and it can make you feel all sorts of ways. But as long as you understand the world that you're in and how special this industry is, you have nothing to worry about. And when markets get dim, and if you feel yourself getting spooked or panicked or worried or stressed, or it's impacting your daily life, that's a sign that you should do something to occupy your mind outside of crypto. As Arn said, I like to personally, I will go to the gym, I'll hang out with my girl, the daughter. I will play Diablo 4 like I've been talking about. I'll watch some new show on Netflix. I just watched Yellowstone. It was awesome. These are things that I'll do to occupy myself, because if I find myself staring at a chart 24/7 as an investor, it's a really toxic place to be in, and crypto can be toxic in that way if you let it. And that's why it's important to disconnect from the so-called matrix and kind of detox a little bit. But with that said, it can also be a really awesome place. And that's why we like to engage with all you guys and hear from you in these chats, because it's the caliber of people and investors that SquidGrow has attracted not only is on full display from the World Tour contest, but it's awesome to hear from you all in the chat. And that's why we started to open these up again, because I think it makes it more of a personable place and more of an enjoyable place to be, especially in times like this where it's kind of brutal. Um, to kind of hang out and see it and hear from people. It's all fun and games when the chart's pumping, right, Arn? Like everybody's seen
Oh yeah.
SquidGrow chat
Oh
and
yeah.
meme chats, etc. When the chart's pumping and someone opens up the voice chat, it's just like this absolute madness and hysteria, and everybody feels good. And how many more X's can it break this target? Blah blah. But never lasts, right? So these are the times that show you what a project's made of. When
Oh
you
yeah.
see people coming out at a time like this, that is where you can see what really they have to offer and how strong they are.
And you know what I love doing? It is I chuckle, right? I chuckle. Everybody knows that I have this um, interesting relationship with influencers. I love influencers. You love those influencers, the ones that you pay 1 ETH for a generic call where they don't really they don't really talk great about your project. They just give the basics, and that's what you paid 1 ETH for. Okay. I mean, I love these influencers, right? What I love though is when the market's doing like this, and then you see some of these influencers fall apart. I don't want to name names. I don't want to say who I'm talking about, but if you follow crypto Twitter, you've seen some of our favorite influencers and characters that are in crypto absolutely over the last couple weeks. Um, you can see it in their tweets. You can see it. They're running out of things to do. They're running out of things to say. A lot of the projects that they perhaps are getting paid to pump are not doing well. And sometimes they just go on rants, and they just they don't really have anything to add. Their portfolios are down. Again, I'm not trying to, I'm not suggesting that I'm happy that their portfolio is down. But what I'm speaking to is the fact that all the things that we're feeling right now about the market, everybody's feeling them, even those influencers, even the influencers that it's sometimes, oh, well, they got it made in the shade. They got so much money. No, everybody is affected by what is going on in this market right now. And everybody is trying to find that next big score. Everybody is trying to make those X's, whether you're trying to recoup losses, whether you are, hopefully none of you are revenge trading, where you just ape into everything and hope that it hits. But everyone's affected by this, and it's a shitty feeling. And sometimes in crypto, you just want to win, right? Even if that win was, I don't know, a 0.5x. Some of us have cheated a 0.5x. Don't lie. I know we've all done it. But it feels good to have a win under your belt. And in times like this, oh yeah, it feels good. But just be careful out there. Like we always say, you got to be careful, whether it's, clicking links, whether it's aping into tokens, whether it's making smart decisions, whether you're not getting scammed. There's a lot of things going on. I heard something about Coinbase having some kind of, I don't know, somebody was tweeting about that. There's a hack going on or something like that. Not for everybody. Just watch out, just watch out for links. And I just think that there's so much fun to still be had in crypto, in this little game that we have with Telegram. There's so much fun to be had and enjoyment without just aping tokens, right? I mean, it feels good to make money. That's what we're all here to do. But hopefully some of us have made good friends and have made good connections. I know JB is on the call. He was just waving his hand, but he just, something happened. He disappeared. But, on that note too, Dana and I are here. If you guys want to jump up, if you guys want to vibe with us, go ahead, raise your hand. I see some of our regulars here. Bolo's on the call. Mars Balls is on the call. We love Lord of Cox. He's on the call too. That's one of the finer names in the SquidGrow in the SquidGrow Telegram. We love Lord of Cox, and John Toshi's here. SquidGrow man. I see a lot of good MMKK folks. Dr. Squid, good to see you. DC's finest. Just go ahead, press the button. Dana will unmute you. We will get you on. But again, there's so much fun to have, and so if you think about it, Dana alluded to it. How many of those projects in 2021 or even 2022? Are still going strong, still having these nightly VCs a couple times a week, still having.
They're coasting. They're coasting now.
Not many.
They know they can. They're coasting because it's all. I mean, either A, the volume's not there to justify spending any money currently, and that's what they're dependent on is that volume, or B, they're just coasting because they they're just over it. Their passion has diminished. They made their money at the top. The team still thinks of it as kind of like the little thing they got to do here and there, but it's not top priority like it is for our team, who put this before pretty much everything. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I wish more projects out there were having success, because when we all have success in crypto, is multiple projects across all different types. It's good for everyone. But right now, everybody's kind of down. If you look across the board on any of your favorite centralized exchanges, you'll see a sea of red day after day. And even if it turns green for a day, it's kind of just like a little hook as it continues to drop. And it's just the ebb and flow of the market right now. It is what it is. I always say crypto summer. That's like crypto winter, right? Typically the summers are the winters in crypto, and the winters are the summers as far as the way they feel. So that's kind of where we are now, and we're very aware of that. We got ourselves onto ETH while it was easier to do so, because when it's a lower market cap, it's much easier to do than if it's like $100 million project and you're trying to move blockchains. That can be a nightmare. So it's one more thing that's done, and now we get to go have more fun. But yeah, man, this community is epic. If any of you guys want to come up here and talk, feel free. Love hearing from you all. That's why we're here. I'll only have the chat muted for you guys just because we get a lot of background noise in the Telegram chat. So doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you guys.
What's interesting too is that we talked about always being there, right? Always being there for the community, hosting these VCs, continuing community, continuing all the things that when the mood is down and when the market is low, you almost feel like, well, why are we even having these things? It's just such a bad market. We've all been part of a project, right? Every one of us in this room has aped into a project where maybe it didn't even last 40 minutes, okay? Maybe not even an hour, okay? Yet the project is tanking, right? It mooned, and then people sold, okay? And it goes down, and you almost think the project is dead. Yet, lo and behold, finally, in the Telegram, you're looking, the dev comes out, and he just paid for the ETH trending. Yep, he just got a caller. Oop, He just got something, and you're wondering, well, why are you doing that? I mean, the project looks dead. Well, it's because the dev is honest and he's hardworking, and maybe he doesn't think the project is dead. Maybe he said that he was going to do all those things, and he's following through. He didn't take the money. He didn't run. It's only you, right? Because you're observing it and you're thinking about it. In the chat, all you can do is work with what you see in front of you. It's the same way in the market, and it's the same way, in a sense, almost with SquidGrow. If anyone's mood is really low, and I hope nobody's mood is that low. Again, that's why we have these VCs. Nobody needs to feel down in the muck right now. But the point is that sometimes when things feel super low, it's easy to get. Again, I'm a therapist, so I don't want to get too psychological with all this talk. But sometimes when it's like a rainy day, right? It's like a rainy day. Why should I do anything? It's a rainy day. There's still so much to be done. There's still so much joy to be had. There's still so much innovation to take part of. And so I think that is something that you can rest assured that SquidGrow's we're always going to bring it. We're always going to bring the heat. We're always going to bring the fun, and we're always going to bring the camaraderie, because that's where SquidGrow truly shines. So it doesn't matter that the market's doing poorly. It doesn't matter right now that our chart is 13, 14 million. We're not thinking about that. What we're thinking about is just keeping the good times roll. And so that is what that is the beautiful part.
Let the good times roll, man. Speaking of good times, we got our resident DJ Sesh coming out with a song at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So about 2 hours, 45 minutes. Fresh new SquidGrow track from Sesh. That's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to hearing it. We may end up using it as our background song for the video content that we make from the world tour. And that world tour, man, that is going to create so much content for us for so long. It's still, even today, there's more submissions coming in, so I can't wait to go back through and see all the new ones to sort through. I don't know how our team is going to select a winner. We're going to have some serious time and thought put into which ones are winners, because you guys have absolutely smashed it and continue to smash it. I'm sure there'll be a lot more pouring in this weekend last minute. But that is a really neat thing, and the SquidGrow community, it is something that we can brag about, because it's come at a time where communities have died. Communities have been dying in the time that we've grown, right? Look at the ones that we're just talking about, 2021. What was happening in the last year for all those projects that hit billions? Was their community growing? Do you see them making noise on Twitter and stuff anymore the way we are? I mean, it's almost like they're going backwards, we're going forwards. They're struggling to find the bottom. We're just creating our beast here. So it's night and day, and that's my favorite thing about this community, man, is it's composed of OGs, veterans, experienced traders that have decided to park their money here through the past year, different stages. And when new investors come and see that, I think they're going to really be attracted to that. That is our main weapon, aside from Shibtoshi, is all of you here.
I agree. Let's who we got? Some of our good folks. Digital Buddha, Crypto Hustler. What's up, man? How you doing? Oh, he's muted at the moment. I thought they were guys. A lot of familiar names. If you want to come up, if you want to contribute, join us. We'd love to hear from you. Crypto Hustler, you are unmuted. Talk to us, brother.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We always catch people at odd times, but
no worries. It's okay. It's all good. Yeah, I thought I didn't know if you unmuted him or if he was raising his hand. Doesn't matter, guys. If you want to join up, just come on up, say hello to us. We are here. It doesn't matter. Dana and I can certainly talk circles around around the best of us, but we'd love to hear from you and let us know what your thoughts are. Who's going to see the Flash when it comes out? Moon, you're unmuted. How you doing, buddy?
Just enjoying the night. Thank you, my friend.
Good to see you. Yeah, I'm going to go see the Flash. I mean, it definitely looks fun. I think that DC Comics, they always just can't get it right. Every movie is one movie's terrific, the other movie's crap. They don't continue. They're always changing directors. But everybody loves Batman, Superman, and certainly the DC slate of comic book heroes. I'm more DC than Marvel.
I like how they've changed up their directors though, because the Marvel thing kind of got played out recently. Like it's they honestly they became kind of woke and they became more like just it lost its luster after
Oh
the
no, for
Avengers.
sure. I just meant that DC Comics, they always have something going. Like what I meant by it was on the back end when it comes to like the studio, and there's always a new CEO or there's a new
Yes,
creative director. Like they haven't been able to, just get that continuity going in that regard. I like the fact that DC's got different directors,
same.
but like they just brought on James Gunn, who, those who don't know who James Gunn is, he was the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and he's very
Yeah, he's
eclectic.
solid.
Oh yeah, he's very eclectic. He's very quirky. He does a lot of good stuff. But he's now heading the ship at DC Comics. So, they did out with Henry Cavill. They're going to bring in a new Superman. They're going to do all kinds of different things.
We're gonna have to
And
ask Mike Miller about that and see what he thinks.
yeah.
He'd be a good person to talk to about it, being
Yeah,
one of their actual comic book creators.
definitely. But I'll be seeing the Flash. I've heard it's got really good stuff in it, so I'll definitely be going to see that one.
Oh yeah, there's not a lot of movies coming out lately that make me want to watch it. Like they're just. I feel like it's just they've taken a backseat lately for whatever reason. I think it's just because everybody wants to be home and watch shows from their couch, or not actually go out to the theater anymore. It's not. It's kind of like the culture's sort of changed with that. It takes like a true blockbuster to ever make me want to get out there.
Right. Yeah. I think that the movies that are doing really well on the big screen are the ones that you don't want to sit at home to watch. You have to see it on a big screen.
Yeah,
Other than that,
like Interstellar or
nobody has it.
something. Some epic like that you just want to see it in IMAX for no reason
Yeah,
other than
yeah,
the
yeah,
movie is epic.
exactly. But I think that there's definitely good cinema. I mean, I'm a huge fan of film. I minored in it, so I love films. But there's certainly movies that you can definitely see at home. You don't have to go to the theater. But when it comes to certain films like Avatar, which was absolutely incredible, you definitely want to see those on the big screen. So I hope, you never know. Listen, maybe Sheeptoshi and SquidGrow will go into financing and film production and start a whole studio. And you guys, listen. You never know. Maybe you'll see Sheeptoshi's name on an episode of Squid Game next year. You never know.
Yeah, you
He's
never
tight
know,
with
man.
he's
Anything
tight
is
with Netflix.
possible.
He's tight with Netflix.
And there is one thing I will say on that. I mean, we've teased this before, but like for me, from CMO perspective, I have a opinion on that. So I think that the Squid Game TV show is obviously face melting as far as the numbers that it did, and I think the second time they come around will be no different, possibly even bigger, especially if they start hyping it internationally the way they did the first. Because the first time they didn't even hype it, right? The first time it was just like word of mouth, and it just blew up. There was no advertising really prior to people actually watching it. This time they'll actually market it and announce it, so it could be even bigger. With that said, we've obviously separated our brand and created our own brand, SquidGrow, with our own logo and our own style. So there's no legal troubles or anything like that. That's a given. You can't just copy something. There's like how many DGen projects did we see called Pokemon in the last 2 years that got crushed, right? So you have to walk on carefully with that. But with that said, there is a loose connection with Squid Game for sure between SquidGrow and that. And when the trailers for Squid Game 2 come out, when the teasers start to come in, from a marketing perspective, I want anyone who's in crypto thinking of Squid Game 2 to think about SquidGrow. That's what I want because it's silly not to tap into that. And the last thing I want is to see some new Squid Game token that scams people like the last one, stealing that thunder. So from my perspective, we're preparing ourselves when that moment comes to make sure that people understand that when they get hyped about Squid Game, it's going to pump SquidGrow. And it doesn't we don't have to be like stealing their stuff and stealing their branding to make that happen. We just have to have a loose connection as we already do, throw some marketing kind of centered around that. And there you go. So that itself is a pretty huge catalyst for a pump because we've seen things pump just because of their freaking name. Like basically every meme coin you saw in the last 2 months pumped because of their name and a picture. Not the team; they're mostly anonymous. They just pumped because they were getting listed on exchanges for free and the volume was there. So it wasn't really anything they did other than their name and their brand. So Squid Game 2, incredible brand, best show ever as far as success and what numbers it produced. So if we can just get a little piece of that when the hype comes back, which I think we'll get a big piece personally, that itself, without all the other great things we're doing, has the capability to send us to the billions, which is pretty insane to think about. I mean, the first Squid Game, the one that was a scam, right? The one that people mistake us for commonly, right? We don't like to talk about that, but that project before it turned into a scam went into the fucking billions. Like it's certainly it's certainly crazy to think about, and they did absolutely nothing. So we have that element to us too. We have a really good name with a really bullish series that is coming back. Just so happens to be coming back in 2024, right, going into the bull market. So I mean, the timing could be more perfect on that aspect alone. I just wanted to touch on that because we always focus on our utility because that is what we're about. But at the end of the day, there is still a loose connection there between Squid Game 2, and that could be a monster catalyst when we take advantage of it.
I agree, and without giving certainly too much away, I mean, there's only so much I know anyway. Sutoshi's tight with Netflix, guys. He is tight with Netflix. He, again, the signs are there. If you've seen any of his, he knows the people. He knows the ones that he needs to know. Put it that way. He's friends with the right people, and think about that. That the people at Netflix know about SquidGrow. So I've got my own little fantasy that and don't think dirty about that. I'm just using the word. I have my own little I have my own little fantasy that SquidGrow is going to somehow make its way into the Squid Game series. Somehow, I don't know how it's going to happen. I just have my own. I would love to see it. I would love to see somehow Squid Game.
Realistically, and this is just me talking. This is not what Chiptoshi's doing.
Right,
this is
right.
talking with the CMO. Let me make sure that's clear. What I would like to see, and I don't know if it's feasible or possible, is for SquidGrow to become an affiliate of Squid Game 2. So meaning that we're able to basically sell their merchandise on our site. We're able to, use some of their logos, some of their things like that on our site as an affiliate, like a fan based group, right? I think that that's feasible if the price is right, and if we have that opportunity to explore it, I have no doubt Shibtoshi will. But those things are secret even from me, so I'm just completely speculating here. But I would love to see that too.
Yeah, so would I. And I mean, I just think it's so cool, and it's kind of like look, it's kind of like SquidGrow. Guys, if you've been part of it since the beginning, we've gone through some hurdles, right? We've climbed mountains, we've cleared hurdles, we've gone from one thing to the next. And if you can think back to the very beginning, depending on how long you've been around SquidGrow, what was the first big issue the first question that everybody had? Well, is he really the guy? I don't know. I mean, is he really the Shiba guy? That was like the big question, right? Everybody was wondering about that. Well, the signs are there. If you haven't done your research, he's the guy. Okay, so that's out. The cat's out of the bag. We now know that. That that Sheep is the guy, and so that you can rest assured on that issue. Well, with that being said, that opens up the floodgates for the possibilities of where we can go with this. And so I always used to say, well, I would love to see, a transfer from one of those Shiba wallets. Just go ahead and purchase a little bit of SquidGrow with one of those Shiba wallets. Well, he may do that, and that's a card that they may play. That's a card.
So he will do that.
It's not a
matter if, it's a matter of
course,
when.
no, of course. And that's the thing is that I want people to understand. He's gonna do it, but he'll do it when it's actually useful. It would be pointless to do that right now. Because we don't need to see it because we already know he's the guy. But imagine when he finally does do it, it'll push us to where we need to go because we'll already be on our way towards there anyway. So it'll just push us to a new high. So again, I'm just speaking to the fact that the goodies, and I say this in every VC, there's so many goodies in SquidGrow, just good stuff all around. And I think that depending on how long you've been a part of SquidGrow, go ahead and just search back. Go through all the old stuff. Go through all the developments that we've been through. Go through all the, just do a VC search. I think that for one of the bots that Slayham has in the Telegram, you can actually search AMAs. Go through all the original and early stuff that SquidGrow has been part of, and you'll see a lot of those carrots that have been dropped, that Shibtoshi has dropped, because there's so many of them, and you just follow them, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, they're bombs, right? There's a lot of bombs that we have to play still. We've not shown our trump card, as Satoshi calls it. That's one of them, right? That is an epic trump card to be able to buy from a Sheeb wallet, one of his many, right? And so that's out there, right? Whenever he thinks it's strategically best to play that chess move, he will play it. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Now, all the tier ones, they're out there. We're saving those tier ones for the best time to get the most out of them, the same way Shiba did, right? You can list on tier ones right now, right? How's that going? How's that going for those projects that just listed on all those tier ones right now, right? Well, that's gone. You're just along for the ride now with Bitcoin, and a potential monster catalyst has been played. You can't list on tier ones more than once. Once you're on there, you're on there. You might get delisted if you screw up really bad. So,
Right.
they're manipulated, they're grid botted, their futures manipulated. Once you're on there, you're on there, and so you want to be a sizable project before you get on there, and you want that catalyst of being on there to be noticed by the masses. And right now, the masses are not investing into DeFi, unfortunately. That's just the reality of it. So when we do get on things like Binance, Coinbase, Robinhood, those crazy exchanges, I'm sure there'll be new ones by the next bull market that come around. But by the time we do get listed on them, it will be maximized. It'll come at the most opportune time. And we'll also throw some curveballs at you too. It's not to say we won't list on any exchanges between now and then, because we will. But the biggest ones will be saved for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be very exciting. And, the cool thing is that we do these VCs, right? And they're random, and we don't plan them that much. But Dane and I, we jump on. Tonight was cool because we gave a 5-minute timer, so that was fun. a little sneak. Get your popcorn ready. But the good thing is that when we do them, people still join, and they still have fun. Right now we just hit 40 people, and that's 41, and that's incredible. Again, we had a 37 BNB buy before. That was also incredible. So it's 11:30 on a Wednesday night, and what better place to be than just all hanging out on a VC. And I just think that it's a fun time, and it's comforting to know that all the people that are in the project that you're invested in are also just as bullish as you are. And that makes you feel good. And so even though your wallet and your portfolio may be down in times like this, it's a good sign, and it's a comforting feeling to know that there's so many other people that are holding on just like you are. And only looking on the bright side of things and looking to the future. So that's exciting. And I love coming on, and Dane and I can mac it and vibe till the cows come home. But and we love having you all on the call. But there's always good things to look around, and we're in an interesting time right now, certainly in the world, and certainly in crypto. And like I said earlier, crypto's just scratching the surface. There's so much good stuff. So just stick around.
Oh, yeah. And feel free to speak up, everyone. Like we'll open these chats up for all of you. Remember, 2 weeks ago, Shibtoshi put out a challenge to you guys to feel free to open up your own voice chats on Twitter as well. I would remind everyone that you will definitely be getting some serious brownie points from the man himself if you do that. Haven't seen much from the past week. It's obviously been a tough time, but that is still out there, so you're more than welcome to open your own. But Arn and I and the team will be making more of a concerted effort to open these up so that we can connect with you guys on a more regular basis. And if there's something that's going wrong, something that needs to be addressed, I can bring it straight to the dev, which is who has been very busy, by the way, and it is busy right now as we speak, consistently working through these issues as they pop up on an individual basis and on a larger basis. So, yeah, we're here. You guys want to come up and speak? Going once, going twice. Right now is your time.
Right, right. And it's all good, guys. Listen, we're all going to keep doing this. If you don't want to come up and speak now, that's totally okay. Like I said before, some folks like to just tune into the VCs and listen, and that's okay. But if you want to use your voice and you want to, call it what you will, right? Voice doxing. There's no shame. There's no shame in the game. No one's going to find you. No one's going to know where you are. No one's going to claim that you are Irish or Jewish or Hindu, or I mean, maybe AC will, but who knows where he went. But but it's okay. Just come on up, use your voice, share your voice, share who you are, with the community. That's what we love so much when people, get unmuted and they speak. It's always great, but there's no pressure, and there never is going to be any. So, we're always here. My DMs are always open. Many of you guys have actually DM'd me, and I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. You can always DM me, and I'm always up to talk. And so Dane's the same way. You can always DM him. Certainly during times of launches and bridges and all those things, he loves when you DM him. Isn't that right, Dane?
Oh, yeah. I pretty much never see him half the time, but I try to answer them. We do just unmute 2 people. What's up, Scott? What's up, Solly?
I just want to know how the visit was. How was it to actually meet him, right? You met him, Dane, didn't you?
No, I haven't met him yet, but I've had a lot of voice chats with him face to face, where he sees my face and I see his. R-Dub has met him. Punisher has met him. Huntsman has met him. A couple others here in this chat, even that I see have met him. So I know Pro the Doge met him. And yeah, every time I hear stories from them and meeting him and the experience of just chilling with Shib, I get a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie. I'll get to probably meet him at some point soon, though.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure.
Listen, you guys,
I think he'll be. He'll be in Squid Games too. We just won't know he's in it.
Yeah.
You won't. We won't.
That would be epic.
You know
He's got the
interesting?
voice for it.
Guys, what's interesting, and when you meet somebody famous, or when you get to know somebody who has a lot of money, or let's just go with the first thing I said, somebody who's famous, right? You have this image of who they are or how you expect them to be. You put them on a pedestal, especially if you've seen them on the big screen or you've seen them on TV, whether they're your favorite, recording artist, whatever the case may be. You have this idea of them. And then when you finally meet them, and again, I'm saying this, I worked in showbiz for many, many years. I was a recording artist for a long, long time. I was in the music business a long time. But I'm speaking about this because, Solly came out and we were talking about Shitoshi. When you break it all down and when you cut out, the fat and you get down to the nitty gritty and just to the bone of it, he's just a normal guy. He's just a normal guy. And I think that, I've spoken to Shitoshi hundreds of times. He's a good dude. When you get past the fact, and it's exciting for many of us in crypto, especially, the Shitoshi story, oh my God, he's a billionaire. Yeah. Okay. But he's also a normal guy. I mean, he's just a good guy who has a family, like many of us do. He's got a wife. He's got kids. He loves life.
All you had to say was he's a good guy.
Yeah, I mean that's it.
That's it. That's all you need to hear. Listen,
there it is.
I have buddies that have his money, and they are dicks, absolute dicks, and you can hear it in Shitoshi when he talks that he's just not one of those guys.
Yeah, no, I mean,
they didn't change him. He's just one of us.
Yeah, and you know what?
With bigger wallets,
right? And the interesting thing too about Shitoshi, and people always forget this too. He's not just a billionaire because of Shiba. I know that's like people love to think, oh, he's the Shiba billionaire. Shitoshi's been in crypto since 2011. Yeah, he's been in crypto for so long that it's not like he doesn't define himself by his wallet. He doesn't define, the measure of a man is not defined by his wallet, right? So I just think, and you guys have all heard him. Shitoshi's just a normal guy. He's just a cool dude who wants to go for the king. He wants to make a dent in crypto, and I think he's doing it. So, that's the cool part.
To your point, though, Sully, you're right, man. There's a lot of people, and Toshi and I have spoken about this actually. There's a lot of people that let the money get to their head, and it changes people. And Shibs actually said just that to me. He said that he's had friends come up sort of around him and have levels of success similar in some fashion, or obviously not quite to his level, but having some success where they're making millions. And he says he's had to stop being friends with them because they just change. They become kind of like pricks in a way, and like they have that like mindset where they start to feel like they're better than everyone, and it does that to certain people, man. And so yeah, it's kind of interesting, money and how it can do that to people, and then others like Shibtoshi are able to remain humble and continue to be themselves. And that's, like you said, he's a good person that has passed that trial. He's still himself, probably almost identical to how he was prior to when he did all that crypto stuff, but just happens to have nicer cars and a bigger house and more watches.
I know he's got to have a closet full of sneakers. He just plays it off on me. I want to see more than just. I want to see more than just the Back to the Futures and boots. I know he's got plenty of boots. I'm sure of that.
Oh yeah, he's got some fire. He takes.
Listen, guys, I want to just say something also really quickly. I don't want to name names. I'm not going to call anybody out, but I will say this. We were talking about DMs before. It's okay to DM. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to do this. Don't DM anybody, guys, and ask for money. Okay? I don't want to name names. I'm sitting here on this VC right now, and I just got a DM from somebody in our community and somebody on the VC who asked me for money and asked if I'd be willing to send him $200, and it's urgent. Okay, he's on the VC right now. I'm not going to call anybody out. Don't do that. That's not cool. And I don't think you're going to get it anyway. But I mean, don't do that. That's not the kind of DMs that I was talking about when I said that my DMs are always open. Dane's are always open.
No, they don't want to.
Wait, Art, I'm about to ask you for money, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, especially if I don't even know you. I mean, come on, don't be silly. Like,
Yo, Aaron, can I have $200, man? That would be cool, man. I'll give it that.
Yeah. No, but really though, guys, I mean, just be, like I said, be careful.
Hello.
Don't click links. Don't. None of that. You got to be careful. There was some of that stuff that was going on, months ago. People clicked some wrong links here and there, and luckily we have a CEO like Shibtoshi who actually made people whole, and that was incredible that he did that. But that being said, just be careful.
Hi, Dane. Hi, Ain.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Doing very well.
Yes. What a great project, I just want to share my how I got SquidGrow. I remember Sheep was invited to one of the projects where he explained he explained about SquidGrow project. Sheep is a great man, and I've learned about him from that other project that he was invited. And the manner in which he explained, he expressed himself regarding himself, and also SquidGrow as a project, it was excellent. It was top class. I fell in love with this SquidGrow, and I fell in love with this project since that day, and I never turned back. And I can tell you, I can see where SquidGrow is going, where it's heading. Yeah, this is a very, very big project, and I'm happy to be in this project. That is what I can tell you now, and I'm excited. Actually, I'm I'm from South Africa, and then it's morning here, and I'm excited. To be in this SquidGrow project.
That's
Thanks, guys.
amazing. Hey, thank you for telling your story, dude. I think I know which project it most likely was. We won't get into that, but this is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the call. That makes me so proud of SquidGrow is the fact that we've attracted investors like yourself that are doing their due diligence, they're doing their homework, and they're finding out about us in a time where people who happen to be looking for projects like this are not too common, to put it lightly. So, that's I love hearing that, man, because that's a perfect testament to what we've been saying, the fact that the community is growing. You may not always see it on the chart, but one by one, OGs like yourself that are finding SquidGrow, and they're falling in love with it the way we all have, and that will continue to happen. You're gonna be hearing these same stories solely from others that come up over the coming weeks and months, like yourself, that find SquidGrow in this brutal time at some point. And I think that's such a cool thing, because there's not a lot of projects, plain and simple, with the capability to attract people into buying a project right now out of all these times, like SquidGrow is. And so, yeah, thanks for sharing, man. That's pretty awesome to hear.
I loved hearing that too. And SquidGrow is going to go to all kinds of countries, guys. I mean, if you think we've done marketing, we haven't even scratched the surface of where we're going with marketing. So I personally envision SquidGrow being in every country imaginable, all across the globe. People will be talking about SquidGrow, and I think I know that she will spare no expense on marketing to make that happen. I liked hearing your story that you're from South Africa. We were talking on VC the other day about where was it, Dane, that SquidGrow was in a what was the tweet? In a village, where was it? Uganda? Where was it that SquidGrow was recently?
Indonesia, maybe.
Was
The
it
underwater one?
Indonesia?
It's everywhere right now, man. It's everywhere.
Right, but it was in a school, right? Like,
Someone had posted the picture of Nelson Mandela in the statue, and a couple of different scenic areas in South Africa as well. So we're there too. We're
right,
all
but wasn't there a school? There was a bunch of students that were getting educated about crypto, and they were what was
that
that?
was through Flues, one of our partners.
Yeah, that was
Strategic.
beautiful.
Yeah, that was it was either in Cameroon or Ghana. I can't remember which one, but it is in one of those two countries. And yeah, it was very cool, because those people had never seen crypto, and that event was about educating them about finance and different opportunities. And one of the things they were taught about was how to create your own custodial crypto wallet where you own your keys. And what we did was, for basically around 5,000 of those people that made their first ever wallet, they were airdropped a certain amount of SquidGrow to start as their first token. So that was pretty neat. And we'll definitely continue to do more things like
Yeah, it
that
was
too.
incredible. Yeah, I really liked seeing that. I
One of
thought that
the
was beautiful.
one of the sides that we haven't touched in marketing, that we kind of it's kind of a polarizing thing, the C word, charity, because in my experience, a lot of people use charity as a manipulation tool. Like, oh, look at us, we're so good, we have great intentions, and then they just crush their investors. So it can be an ugly thing, although there are some great charities in crypto out there. That's not to throw shade at them, but we haven't touched on it, and it is something that we plan to dive into more. But the thing is, the way that I look at charity is that crypto is such a massive opportunity that just the project itself already is kind of a form of charity, because the amount of money that potentially people could make in SquidGrow is already going to affect so many people's lives, and not only their personal life, but everybody in their life. So, like, if you're a dad right now and you're in SquidGrow and you have a family and you're trying to support them, this is a project that's going to help you in ways that no other industry can, no other project potentially can. So, in a way, the way that I see it is, that's already in and of itself the most powerful form of charity, is to transform leaders and men's lives so that they can better the lives of those around them. So for me, charity has always been, make sure the project is successful first. Don't just do charity because you think it's going to help the project. Do it rather to actually make an impact. So when it comes to our charity and how we do it, it will be something that we dive into deeper later, because at that later stage, we'll have a much wider reach. And with that wider reach, we'll be able to actually affect the charity that we choose to help that much more. Whereas right now, it's about making sure that all of our investors and all of our base is well off and doing good and happy. That's priority number one right now. But with that said, charity will come later. And I think it's a very powerful tool, both from a marketing perspective and from an impactful perspective on how you can change the perception of crypto and do good with it. But
Yeah,
first
I
and foremost,
agree.
we want to change your lives.
Yeah, I agree. And I've always said that I look at SquidGrow as a business. I've never, I don't feel, and I'm just speaking for myself, I don't feel like with SquidGrow that I'm invested in a crypto token. I feel like it's like a stock. I mean, I really feel like I'm investing in a project, in a business, in something that is not crypto. I feel like I own shares, and I feel like I'm a shareholder, and I'm sitting on a board of the company or something. Right, right. I mean, and I think that with Satoshi, that with that kind of CEO that we have, SquidGrow can go anywhere, and I alluded to that earlier. I mean, there's so many tricks up his sleeve. Charity is an aspect that I can't wait to see where SquidGrow goes with it, because you have charity tokens that are only charity tokens, right? And some are done really well, some are done, of course, maybe a little nefariously. I've been part of charity tokens before that did really, really well. That they worked with. I don't want to. I don't know, why not? I was part of a token called Munch back in the bull run of 2021. It hit an all-time high of 130 million. The team was really, really solid. They were from the UK, and they worked with charities across the globe that were crypto ready. And by that, what I mean is they were set up to accept donations via crypto, some of these charities. And they were completely transparent. They raised about $4 million over the 7-month period in total for these charities. And they had a new charity every 2 months. It was just well done, very, very well done. And they did it right. That being said, SquidGrow, as we know it at the current moment, is not a charity token. But that doesn't mean we can't venture into charity territory. And I can't wait to see where that goes. And I know that Satoshi loves charity, so I'm sure that would be something, a venture that we could take SquidGrow, another offshoot, right? It's kind of like funny, right? Because squids have tentacles. All the moves that we're making and all the utilities that we have in this project is like each one is its own tentacle. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with charity in the future when the time is right. I'm sure he'll do it. I'm sure he'll do it, and I know it'll be incredible, and that'll be another branch of what this business of what the company that SquidGrow does, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Definitely, man. It is a cool aspect to be able to impact the world like that with such a project with such huge potential like ours, and we will definitely explore that. So yeah, I mean, and let's not forget too, on the side note, about the SAM absorbing other projects, to help them out. So that's another form of that too, in a way. There's like you said, there's all sorts of tentacles and ways that this project is going to go. And I think there are, like, we know the main path. We know the NFT marketplace, SGX, Squid Game 2, the crazy marketing, the tier ones. We know that's going to happen, but there's going to be quite a few curveballs within that you guys don't know about that get launched that continue to take this project in different directions that help it grow also. So yeah, there's the known and there's the unknown. Basically, put it that way, and there's a lot to look forward to in both of those.
Absolutely. We've got V Suhov. I hope I'm saying it the right way. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, one sec. I have to take, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, man. What's up?
Okay. Hey, how are you? I have a question in regards of the bridge. I've been waiting for a bridge to kind of clear out. It seems like it does. We have announced where it works, but when I'm trying to bridge over to Ethereum, it shows you can't trade in that much. So it seems like there's no liquidity.
Correct. The 10 trillion is allotted has basically gone lopsided over to the east side at the moment, but
Yeah.
that is slowly trickling back over. And when enough trickles back over, it sort of opens up in segments. So just keep staying tuned with that, and it should. I think it will balance out as the Binance flood clears up. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It seems like
Yeah.
because we the bridge at the time where everybody was worried about Binance, that everybody and then some tried to
Yeah,
exit.
everybody probably got scared and just move on to Ethereum. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
assumed. But
So
yeah.
it's just a little traffic jam, man. But I'm optimistic that it's going to clear up fairly soon, a lot. And there are some things Satoshi will do to make sure that happens as well. So just stay tuned on that note. But other than that, you're able to connect to it, right? No issues there.
Yeah. It's just I
Okay,
just
cool.
can't bridge over, but that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Probably maybe a
that's the whole
couple more
point of the bridge,
days,
I
a
know.
week top. I'll say. Okay. Thanks, Dane. Good to hear you.
Yeah, you too, man. Always a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thanks for jumping on and using your voice. And for everybody on the call, I got to get going. Not to focus too much on it. For those that were on
It's cool,
early, you
bro. We'll
heard it.
close it down.
I'm in a lot. Yeah, I'm in a lot of pain, guys. I had my toenail cut off today, so I had my right thumb toenail cut off today, and that was not fun. I highly recommend nobody having a restaurant door go over your foot, especially if you're wearing boat shoes. So I got to get some rest, and I got my babies that are waking up soon. And I love you guys, Dane. I love you, and it's been a great VC for
Let's
this.
fucking grow.
Yeah, let's fucking grow. It's been a great VC, and again, I say all the time, those that know, those that are part of our family, part of our community, it's always good to have these, and it's always good to have that connection and to see each other. But what really makes SquidGrow special is bringing the next guy on and introducing them to SquidGrow. Like I said, answering questions, helping the next person out. Don't send anybody $200, by the way, but help the next person out. Tell them about SquidGrow. Point them in the directions that they need to go into to access those old AMAs, to learn about Shibtoshi, to learn about what's going on in this community. That's what makes us special, and that's what makes us shine. And so, if it's a parting kind of a words, and it's been a dynamite VC tonight. As I said, we're becoming right now inevitable. We're going to be an inevitable. We're going in that direction, but what we're becoming is unavoidable. And that's what makes us powerful. And that's because of all the work that everybody's doing in this community. It's because of the tweeting and the rating and the just reaching out to the next person on Telegram that's going to get people involved in SquidGrow and bring them into the fold. That's why we're becoming unavoidable. And the more that we become unavoidable, the more we're just going to be inevitable. And so with that being said, on this fine Wednesday night, I love you guys, and I will see you soon.
Thank you, Arn, and thank you everybody for coming out. I'm going to close it down too with that. We'll catch you next time. Try to jump on here tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So we shall talk then. If you didn't get to speak up, come hang out with us then. This is recorded for those that are sleeping. We apologize that you had to listen to the recording if that's you, but we will make a concerted effort to do different time zones as well so that we'll catch you next time live. Bye, everyone.
Dane, sorry. Before you go, the hangout's going to be on like a daily basis. Is that the thing now?
Yeah, so pretty much except for Fridays and Saturdays, those can be hit or miss on the schedule of the team right now. But we're going to try to do a daily basis, kind of alternate between Spaces and Telegram.
That's nice.
And we also encourage everybody to feel free to open up their own spaces, and a lot of the community will join you in there. It's a good way to boost your following. It's a good way to get the SquidGrow name out there a bit more. So anyone that wants to host their own, feel free to do that whenever you'd like.
Nice. Good to know. Thanks. Haven't talked to you for a while. Papa, the same story. I haven't seen him for like, I don't know, a month or a month and a half or so.
Yeah. That Papa's doing his own thing now, but we're gonna be in here with VC as much as we can to sort of fill that void. So no worries.
Great.
Bye, everyone. Let's fucking grow.
Good night, guys.
Let's go.
Let's fucking grow.
Let's fucking grow.